What's up, everybody? So today I'm going to try something that I've always been a little bit, I've always had a little bit of trepidation in trying. And I just wanted to sit down and do a podcast because this is a brand new thing that's not been done a billion times over by everybody on planet Earth. But, I figure I'm a trendsetter. I like to get to things first and come up with original concepts that no one's ever done before. Really cutting edge stuff. But I just wanted to give this a shot, see if it's fun, see if anybody likes it. And I'm gonna talk about whatever I want, but it's gonna be primarily metal related. And I'm thinking maybe I'll interject some clips of stuff that I've done throughout the week that I recorded, because I've seen some pretty interesting stuff in my line of life, my line of work, adventures. I saw I'll put this in post. I saw this sign in a car a little bit ago. Yeah, don't feed the whores drugs. Don't see that every day. And there was also, I don't have a picture of this one, but there was a woman in New Jersey wearing a hoodie, and the back of her shirt had a similar slogan. It said, "Just a whore with a dream." And I felt that. I felt that in my soul. I, too, am just a whore with a dream, minus the sexual promiscuity. Because I'm a married man, and my wife's pretty freaking dope, man. She loves me. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll show you guys a picture of me and my wife real quick. This is us in the Philippines at St. Adolphine's Church. We had a wedding here where we live, November 11th, which is unofficially National Metal Day. Put this back real quick. Oh my God, I can't put it back right. All right, I will deal with that after the fact, Jack. But we had our wedding at November 11th, National Metal Day. And then we took a trip to the Philippines Christmas last year. We stayed there for a month. And then we had a official ceremony there. And it was cool, man. I was pretty miserable leading up to that point because I was so jet lagged and so tired. And I was in a new environment with new food that no one in my Italian, Irish, or Scandinavian ancestries ever experienced before. So it took a toll on my stomach. But, I had a great time. I met a lot of new friends. Filipinos love karaoke, man. We were outside at like 2 a.m, and I was hammered, screaming in the Still of the Night by Whitesnake. Whenever I get on a karaoke, man, I gotta go 80s metal. I can't help it. It's just the right thing to do in my life. It's not good. It's horrible. It sounds like a cat in a blender, but it's good for me, man. I have a good time doing it. So maybe I'll throw in some other clips in post. I got some stuff. I got some pictures. I got some videos, and there were some good times, man. I miss my boy. I made my wife. So my cousin-in-law, is that a thing? My cousin-in-law Vaughn. He's out there in the Philippines. Shout out to my boy Vaughn. He's got a band out there, a metal band called Word Pissed, I believe it's called. They're out in the Philippines. Maybe I'll get Vaughn on here, man, and we could talk. He could talk about the Filipino metal scene. It was thriving out there. And he's the vocalist for the band, and they got some good beat down shit, man. I had a great time. It was a long flight to get out there. It was like 33 hours with layovers and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I wanted to talk about my metal beginnings, if you would, my humble metal beginnings. So I believe the first metal song I ever heard was "Ride the Lightning" by Metallica. And it hit a lot better than some of the stuff my mom listened to. My mom liked Styx and Bon Jovi and Boston. But that was about as heavy as my mom got. She was terrified of metal. And my dad is a disco type guy. Minus the Zohan reference. So I heard Metallica. I bought Metallica. I bought the Ride the Lightning album. Then I bought Back in Black by AC/DC. So those are cool. I would listen to those to the bus. I listened to those on the bus going to and from 8th grade every day. Back then we had CD players, and you hit the bump or you walk around with it, the CD would skip, and it was a real pain to deal with. But I asked my mom for a Slipknot album because one of my friends really likes Slipknot, and he told me to buy Slipknot. And Valentine's Day of 2004? I think it was 2004. I got Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses. And it blew my young, impressionable mind into a million pieces. I put on track 9, Pulse of the Maggots, and I felt a surge of energy that I'd never felt before that day in my life. I felt strong. I felt like I could do anything. I felt like I could rip a mountain from the roots of the earth and hurl it into the sun and throw off the entire gravitational pull of the entire solar system. I'll never forget it, man. I got chills. I was like, what is this? What subliminal verses are on here that's making me feel like this? But ever since that day, man, it's been a wrap. So whatever year, I think it was 2004, but it might have been 2005. Maybe even 2003. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But that's what did it. Then I know March 5th of the same year, I saw Gizmochi, Shadows Fall, Lamb of God, and Slipknot. Man, that was a freaking show, man. Scooped up the Shadows Fall record. That was War Within, and I scooped up Ashes of the Wake. And, man, I was hooked on heavy metal. I was hooked from that day forward. And I just never stopped. I would stay up late and watch Headbangers Ball, and have like cartoons on you could go to the last channel back in the day, and I would have like some stupid cartoon on. So if my mom walked in when I was supposed to be asleep, I would just act like I was asleep and I left the TV on or whatever. And it was just a life-changing moment for me to just go to that concert, see Slipknot, experience that raw energy, and just see a freaking mosh pit, man. The second time I saw Slipknot, it was Unearth, As I Lay Dying, which, and Slipknot. And that was the first show. When I first saw Slipknot, it was in a seating venue. And when I saw them the second time with Unearth and As I Lay Dying, it was a standing venue. I'd never been to a standing venue before. I didn't understand anything about life. And man, Unearth was so heavy. They were so good. I think the Oncoming Storm just came out. And I remember hearing the drum fill for Black Hearts Now Rain, and I couldn't, at the time, me and my boy were like, dude, we need to find this song. He spent all night looking for that song, and he found it, and we got the Oncoming Storm out of Sam Goody in our local mall, man. I miss going in and buying CDs, man. It was such an experience. You could go in there, and they had like listening rooms where you could sit down. This was when like Zunes and the iPad first came out, and MP3 players, and you could download MP3 players, download MP3s onto your MP3 player, and all that fun stuff. Especially when you downloaded something from LimeWire that had a virus, then you downloaded a virus on your brand new iPod or whatever, and then it was bricked and it didn't work. Mom, the $200 you spent on this, I don't know what to tell you, man. Mom broke. But that's when I was just obsessed, man. I was obsessed like nothing. I could tell you anything about Slipknot back in the day, anything. I knew everything about them. I was such a freaking weird kid, man. I was like obsessed with them. Like I had like 3 girlfriends throughout high school, and like all I talked about was Slipknot. And I can't imagine why they found me to be an ill suitor for them. But yeah, when I remember hearing track 7 on volume 3, Welcome, and Joey Jordison's the double bass part in that song. I was like, I have to do this, man. I have to play like Joey Jordison. So my dad bought me a drum set. It was a Verve kit out of a local shop. And then shortly after, I got a Pearl set, which I missed that Pearl set to death. I have a picture of me playing it when I was like a kid, like maybe 14, teenager. I was young. I missed that kit, man. what I would do to get that kit back. And I just played the shit. I would go to school, I would come home, and I would play drums. And I would play drums, and I would play drums, and I would play drums. And I had a really terrible band back in the day. I don't even remember what we were called. It was like Cactus or some stupid shit like that. And we covered Before I Forget, and we covered Duality. But we didn't know anything about alternative tunings. We didn't even know about drop D tuning. So the guitar player just picked up the tabs and just didn't do it right at all. And when we played our first show, which was like my birthday party in my mom's garage, I couldn't understand why people didn't think we were the greatest band that ever crossed the thresholds of hell. Looking back, we were garbage. We didn't even know what tunings were, so of course not. And so some time went by. I joined another band. They already had a drummer, so they had 2 guitar players. So I decided I was going to pick up bass because they needed a bass player. So I got this 5-string Harkey bass. I played it for a little bit, and as anyone who's been in a band as a teenager before, you're basically a bunch of mean girls disguised as hardcore heavy metal kids trying to act tough, but really on the inside, you're just an egomaniac starved for attention. I'm guilty of that as well, man. I've been there. Luckily, I realized like that's some stupid shit to carry with you for the rest of your life. But I think we were like 16, and I ended up getting kicked out of the band, and I vowed to be a better guitar player than the other guy. So my mom got me an Aria guitar, which I still have. It's over there in the case. And I picked it up, and the first thing I didn't learn a power chord. I didn't learn anything. I learned how to freaking do sweeps, man. I learned arpeggios. I was a sophomore at this time. I got home from school at like 3. I watched Cops or I watched House, and I played guitar until Family Guy came on, and then I would go to sleep every single day. And I got sweeps down in like, I think it was about 7 months straight. I got them down. Couldn't play a power chord, couldn't strum, but I could sweep. So feeding my little 16-year-old ego there, I would literally just do some like sweeps because no one knew how to do sweeps except this other guy that I was vowing to be better than. Excuse me. And I would just do sweeps in front of people, and they would like, their minds would get blown, and I would never play anything else because I didn't know how. But eventually I got it down. I joined this other band as a guitar player, and I was like, my coordination was pretty good from sweeping. So when I decided to branch out and learn the other advanced techniques like strumming, it didn't take me too long to pick up. But there's this. I wish I still talked to Jeff. We had this one song in our old band. I think me, this guy Jeff, Ryan Shane, Matt Kawanaki, I think that was his name. That's such a cool ass name. And JT, I think it was. No, not JT. I forget the bass player's name. Sorry, dude. But we had a strumming part, and I couldn't do it right away. And there's this scene in Metalocalypse. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that show, but Metalocalypse came out in 2006, and it was like the holy grail for us metal kids. It made us feel like we had a place in the world. And there's this scene where they're trying to play blues, and the dude's strumming, and then Toki and Squizz are just, and I lived that, and this was before Metalocalypse came out, so it was hilarious at the time. When that episode aired, we all just looked at each other and started laughing, man, because everyone, it was like, dude, that's you. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong about that. I played in that band for a while. I jumped around to a bunch of different bands throughout my life, and after I picked up the guitar, I really I started working overnight shifts, and I couldn't practice drums when I could be awake on the nights off because I lived at home till I was 19, and then I had an apartment with the boys, and I couldn't practice drums, but I could practice guitar. So I let the drums thing go to the side, and I just shredded guitar every single day as best as I could. And for years, I was very sloppy. I look back now, and I thought I was so good, but my playing was just crap, man. It was just as fast and as sloppy as I could possibly make it. But, recently, I've been when COVID hit, I was in a rock band. It wasn't really a metal band. I had no luck with the metal genre, and my particular line of metal is like Swedish melodic death metal or melodic death metal from Finland or any kind of European power metal. I guess you could call it early 2000s American metal, and there's some metalcore, like I guess you could consider like Trivium and Unearthed metalcore, stuff like that. But I just like really melodic vocals and epic, conquering, victorious songs, and you don't really get that in the genre that the majority of the people around where I used to live played. It was primarily deathcore, but it was just, all of this came from, it was just like, I'm not trying to judge anybody, but from the way it came off to me, it just all seemed like it was this frustration with the opposite gender, and it was this like little kid tantruming, but they went to the gym every day so they could throw a tantrum and bash your skull in. And I would go to shows in that area, and it was primarily hardcore beatdown American stuff, and they were doing their two-step swing thing, and it was, a lot of the attitudes were very unwelcoming, especially when like me and a couple of my friends would go there, and we would have just like metal mosh pits. And there was a time where like there was a group of people that actually wanted to fight us because we were doing that there, and not really the best thing to do. Didn't really want to go to war. Not really much of a fighter. Just my life has to be in danger, or someone I love's life has to be in danger. But if you're just, I'm not really about to either me or you get serious bodily injury or die. I mean, you've heard stories of people getting punched in the head and they're just dead. But speaking of getting punched in the head, we were at this show, and there's VFW that we used to play at all the time, and it was all that beatdown stuff, and they were doing their spinny fisty thingy. And the one guy got really close to me. And he spun his fist down and he hit me right here, just like that. And I was pissed, but I have a very hard head. I used to beat my head against the wall when I was a kid because I was so frustrated with reality. And I would just bang my head like Shaolin monk punching concrete or punching bricks to toughen their knuckles type stuff, which I wasn't consciously aware of at the time. But my head is pretty freaking hard from that. And the proof of that was I didn't budge. I didn't really feel it, but when the show was over, we were walking out. There was a guy holding his very swollen wrist. And I looked at him like, that hurt? And he was not happy with me, but he couldn't really do anything. He only had one hand. And I wouldn't want to engage in physical combat, but at the same time, you did punch me. And so I believe my little bit of a acerbic quip was justified. But I was doing that whole beatdown thing for a while, and I never really liked it. I tried to put in some other metal influences into it, and it just never worked. It was there wasn't really too much compromising going on. So I thought, let me just try this rock band, and we had a really solid like 6 weeks, man. It was like a really good 6 weeks, and then this member started dropping and getting replaced, and there was all this back talking and all this other crap, and COVID hit, and it was just a freaking mess. So I decided I was going to take some classes at Berkeley and figure out how to do this crap on my own, because I couldn't get, it was like 16 years, man, that I was trying to get a band together, and we never got out of the studio. We would get to the studio, and then the whole band would just fall apart every single time. And, throughout the years, I like to recognize where I could have made improvements, what things I did were wrong and right, and then I would like compare that to philosophical concepts or just read motivational books and glean as much information as I could from those to see how to better act if that circumstance was to present itself again, and grow as a human being and be better than I was yesterday. That's my mindset. And that's the growth mindset. I don't think everybody even is consciously aware that exists. So I got to the point where I'm like, I've been doing this. I gave it my all. I gave it everything I had, and I keep falling back with less and less. So I'm going to just take these courses. I'm going to invest the money, which never really had a lot of money, you know, just paycheck to paycheck that any remedial job I could get my hands on. But I did work at a scrapyard for a long time. That was awesome. And that was the most metal job I ever freaking had, was working at that scrapyard in the hood, bro. I had such a killer time. I would go back to that job with that crew any day of the fucking week, man. Especially Don Juan. Don Juan was the funniest dude I ever met. Dude had a trick in the trunk. Not literally, but figuratively. That man was so funny. Anyway, took the classes at Berkeley, and then I had this band name, Land Without Legends. One of my, it was the name of one of my old bands. First, it was the name of a song, an intro. Then it was a band, and then it was that was like 10 years ago, and like we never did anything either. We wrote 3 songs like the first practice, and then we just never went forward after that. Every studio session just got sidetracked with Crown Royal, beard, weed, never got anything done. So I took the classes, I invested the money, I bought the equipment that I needed, and I beat my head against the wall trying to get everything to work. And I had no idea what I was doing. It was just trial and error all the way, man. And I'm still learning a whole bunch of stuff, but for the most part, I can make a song from scratch in my home studio now. And I got my 4th song. Well, technically it's the intro, but I didn't really know what I was doing uploading this stuff to DistroKid, and I thought maybe I can move the songs in order of the release, but you know, you live and learn. But I got 4 songs out on my solo project, Land Without Legends. I don't know if I should call it a solo project, because I hired a singer off of Fiverr, and he goes by Dagon, Dagon, and he's a tremendous singer, man. He can do freaking everything, and he's exactly what I was looking for. And it was great to be able to pay somebody money and then work with them to get their style in with what was going on in my mind. Because I feel like when you're in a band and you're the guitar player, you can't, anybody, man. I feel like it holds that person back from expressing who they are musically if you tell them to do things a certain way. And I don't want to do that. But then at the same time, you know, if I have a vision for a song that I see a certain way, and then I keep my mouth shut because I don't want to step on their turf. And then you know, they do something that they want to do, which they like to do, but it's not really lining up with the vision I had for the song. That could be a little bit of a bummer for me. And I did have that problem a lot. I would compromise songs that I want for, because I thought it was the way to move forward. You make a compromise here, I make a compromise there. We all make compromises, and you don't win them all, but you win some. And it shouldn't even been a win-lose mindset. It should just be a compromise of ideas for the greater good of the band. But doing it this way, I mean, I have this like this thing in my head where it's just I can't let the song, if there's any defect. I was going nuts with this with the Golden Age intro that I just put out on Spotify. I couldn't get this electrical interference to stop. I was messing with it for like 12 hours, trying a whole bunch of different things to get certain things to cut out certain frequencies, certain plugins to try and boost this and cut that and all this other stuff. I couldn't figure it out for a while, but I finally got it. And you know, it's all part of doing it on your own. You just beat your head against the wall and you do it, and you just keep your emotions in check. You just walk, to put it the way Miyamoto Musashi said all those years ago, walk the 1,000-mile journey one step at a time. And that's from the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. It's got a lot of good principles for, you know, striving forward to your goals. But like I was saying, doing it this way, being able to have this idea in my head, have this vision, pay somebody, find the person who fit the vision, pay them for their musical ability, and then have them do what I want them to do with their spin on it. It coalesced into what I thought was possible and what creating music should be like. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but I don't mind. It flies by. I'll be in here for like 10 hours and my wife will be like, dinner's ready. And I'm like, I thought I just got in here. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at now. And it's pretty cool. You know, I have a pretty good time making music and learning the ins and outs of it. And even when I have those setbacks or those, if you want to put failure in a mechanical term, shout out to my boy CJ, the Metal Motivator. Check him out. If you are a metalhead and you need some fucking motivation, that's the man to go to. Even those failures, like the way an engine would fail, and then you would have to get a mechanic to fix the engine so that it does not fail again. I celebrate those because now I know something that I did not know before and I can move forward and then I won't have that problem ever again. And if I happen to meet someone who has that problem, I can help them quicker than I did by beating my head against the wall or asking ChatGPT or Reddit, whatever the case may be, whatever gets you through the damn, whatever gets you through the day, man. I was saying whatever gets, never mind. Yeah, I love it. And it's going well. I'm pretty happy with the way my music's been going. I did the band thing for 16 freaking years. Never got one thing out. Not one. There was like 3 stupid songs I made on MySpace back in the day under my solo project that I dubbed Skepsis. And this was before the Black Dahlia murder put that album or song, I don't remember which yet. But rest in peace. Trevor. I don't remember. It's like I forget Trevor's last name. I have to get Trevor's last name. Hold on. Work with me here, guys. I'm going to do a little Trevor Black Dahlia murder. Last name. I know he died. I'm so sad about it. He had such a unique, powerful, raspy, killer voice. Can we do something right now? Trevor Strand. I'm sorry, my friend. I don't know how to say your last name properly. I don't want to disrespect. He committed suicide. Really? I didn't know that. No cause was given, but contact information for the National Suicide Lifeline was shared alongside the announcement. Jeez. They got a new singer now, huh? Let's go into some Black Dahlia real quick, man. Let's go into the story. They've done so in the style of Tim Robbins. Who is this man? Black Dahlia appeared to be teasing new music, which would be the first material from the band since 2020. Today, the Michigan Mellow Death Vets teased the arrival of something new on June 13th, complete with a short video of Brian Esbach testing a microphone by channeling Tim Robbins' extremely pressed character from I Think You Should Leave Season 3's drive-through pay it forward sketch. You can begin building anticipation below. Man. He died in 2020. I need to get more back into the metal loop. I really haven't been too deep in the loop of heavy metal for so long. I mean, the only thing I've been doing recently is just working on my songs and building up my career in music and whatever financial opportunities that present themselves and just listening to Sabaton and Beast in Black and Dynasty like over and over again. I saw the Sabaton movie. That was amazing. That was such a cool show. I felt like I went to a show when I walked out of that theater. It was badass. And my wife has been forced to adapt an affinity for Sabaton because I love them. They're just, every song just touches my soul. And I just love that. I love their style, man. I love everything that they do. And watching that movie was so cool. Seeing a metal band in the freaking movie theaters, dude. And then Beast in Black came out of nowhere for me. I think it was like it was right before From Hell With Love came out that I found the Beast in Black single track. It just came up on my Discover Weekly for Spotify, and I was just hooked. My first thought was this is a new Judas Priest project because that beginning scream sounded so much like classic Rob Halford. I didn't know what happened. That's what I thought immediately, but they've been nonstop. My Dystopia by them, such a the key change from the B minor section to the C minor section, it just hits so freaking good. Every song they have is good. And True Believer has been on my mind a lot lately. I got that shit bumping on the way to work, drinking my coffee, my Cuban roast coffee, my Fidel Castro coffee, my Tony Montana coffee. I feel like Tony Montana is less offensive to describe Cuban than Fidel Castro. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But it's all in good fun. I mean no disrespect to anybody ever. But this is it. This has been my first solo adventure to sit down and talk about my heavy metal experience. And I guess I could dive into deeper stories. I got a bunch. I got a lot from the party days, man. Party days were nuts. There was a few bands I was in when we were party pretty hard. And my friends, rest in peace, we used to throw some pretty wild parties. They were some good times. I got some videos of them. Maybe I could do something with that. I don't know. There's not too many people left that I could talk to. They all went pretty hard, man. A lot of them couldn't come back. It was pretty sad. I miss them dearly. And maybe they'll watch this from like HeavenTube or wherever they're at. But if you made it through any of this, I don't know if this is going to be good. I don't know if any of you give a shit about my life. And you know what? I wouldn't blame you if you did. But I'm trying stuff here. So I'm going to make it as entertaining and be as energetic and positive and metal as I possibly can. So that's that. This is that. And the Church of What's Happening Now just dropped episode 1. I'm a big Joey Diaz fan, man. My boy's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. He's from North Jersey. I'm from South Jersey. He's up from Newark in that area. I was down by Camden, and I worked in Camden for quite a long time. The scrapyard I worked at had yards there, and it's sketchy. It's pretty sketchy. There's some sketchy figures. When they walk in to get the scrap money, they're your best friend. But I seen some shit, man. It's pretty dark. It's pretty brutal shit happened one day, man. It was jacked up. Maybe I can maybe if anyone's interested in that, I can go into more detail about it. It's actually like pretty violent and horrific, and somebody met their maker that day, which is pretty intense, man. You don't really forget that one. But thanks for stopping in. I guess I'm going to watch this, edit it, see if it sucks. But I'm going to put it out either way, because why the frig not? All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was cool. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And like and subscribe and follow my band on Spotify, Land Without Legends. And I'll have all my social media stuff in there. I think Facebook's dead. I could put my Facebook in there. I do find some pretty hilarious memes. I got some good memes. I make some cool memes. I make some dumb memes too. But I don't know, man. Whatever my algorithm is, it's just like on the brink of insanity and order. Just where I like to ride, man. That's where I feel alive. Feel alive, baby. I hope you feel alive too. I feel alive. All right. Peace out.